and head to the PWHL. They announced yesterday some exciting news. They're going to be expanding for the 2025-2026 season. One team at least confirmed in PWHL Vancouver, in which they'll be titled until they come up with a nickname and some branding and marketing. Some pretty exciting stuff. In the midst of their second year, they're already expanding. Which is obviously great for the league. It means that they're doing things right and they're doing things successfully. When you heard that it was Vancouver, what did you guys think? Brandon, let's go to you first on this one. Just like, what did you think about the announcement and the fact that Vancouver is going to be one of possibly two teams coming in next year?
I mean, I was surprised. I mean, I haven't been following. I'm not sure if there was a ton of coverage or if there was a lot of, if there was any news that broke on this before it was actually announced. But I was thinking, I knew expansion, whether it was next year or the year after, I knew it was coming. I thought it would be, again, stay on the East Coast. I thought maybe Detroit or Pittsburgh. I know they've played games there. I kind of thought those would be natural fits, at least on the U.S. side. I really didn't know in terms of a Canadian city where you would go next. So I'm glad to see that Vancouver, is starting that kind of West Coast move and is adding some expansion. I think it's a good fit. I don't know what to think yet. I think it's certainly optimistic for them. It's probably going to be a big step in terms of growing the league and changing kind of the status quo that they've been doing. Obviously, we know that they've been in such a small kind of circle in terms of the markets they've been doing. So it'll be good to see the expansion and just see how the league can continue to grow. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I was not shocked.
Okay.
I like that PWHL takeover game that they played in Vancouver was sold out. They got unbelievable reception from the fans there, and like it spoke volumes. And ever since then, I heard like Vancouver was put on the map after that game. Like it was always like a consideration. Like we always want to go out west, but then it like really became a factor. Like that game proved to them like, okay, this can work out there. So I wasn't really shocked that they went out west. I mean, could I have seen a team like Pittsburgh or Detroit coming in? Yeah. But I do understand trying to like broaden the game a little bit, even further. It only makes sense though if the next team that they expand to would be another West Coast team.
Yeah.
And that would be Seattle or Edmonton. I think you have to do one of those two teams next if you committed to Vancouver. Only because it just doesn't make sense to me to have everyone in mainland America and Canada and then put one team on the West Coast and that is it. Like, so I expect either Edmonton or Seattle to be the next team to be expanded or to be the next expansion team.
I agree with that. I don't want to be the one that like comes and zags on this take because I think it's great that they're expanding, but I hope for the league's sake that they don't expand too early because Brian Burke was someone who said this, I want to say like halfway through their first year. I think he was already asked like, what would you think about the PWHL expanding? And you're like, whoa, like you have to be able to confidently say that things are running smoothly for a while before you add extra teams because you just don't want to get too ahead of the put the horse in front of the cart type thing or vice versa, whatever the saying is. Point being, you don't want to get ahead of the game. And if they can successfully implement PWHL, like I agree with you guys, I think we'll have to see either a Seattle or just another team that can rival them because you don't want teams traveling. You'd have to have like Vancouver basically playing 5 home games and then 5 away games like immediately back to back, right? Like I've seen it happen with, I can never remember the league, but the Toronto Wolfpack is a really random example, but they were the rugby team that was playing in Toronto at Lamport Stadium for a few years ago, and they did that. They were like the international team, so they played a bunch of UK teams. So they play 4 home games, and then they travel across the Atlantic and play 4 away games, for example, for a month in the UK. It's obviously different. You're within the same continent, but it's similar, and so hopefully they can make it work. I agree. I think it was the 4th highest attendance, the takeover game that they've ever had in the PWHL was the Vancouver game, so I can see the interest. I just hope for their sake that it's a successful expansion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they've had success everywhere they've gone, like in terms of these takeover games. So I think, I don't think it was a surprise that they have interest in doing this. But I think you made a great point, Alex, in terms of not trying too much too fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
if they can get 2 teams now in the West, potentially make sure that works for the next 2 to 3 years, and then you continue to look where else you might want to go. Like I think they got to be really smart about this, and it seems like so far they've been doing their diligence. So we'll hope for the best.
And important to note, like the player pool right now is really like the 6 teams are really talented right now.
Yeah.
But you don't want to like and the talent is on the way up. Like there's so many young like women out there that are actually like really really good at hockey.
Absolutely.
And like they're gonna make an impact on the PWHL. But in the time being, like women's hockey wasn't near as level like for like 30 plus year olds, I want to say. Like those that's the age group where like you're kind of like you don't have as big of a player pool right now. So then to me it's like you got to be careful not to expand too many teams too quickly, because you don't want to dwindle your product on the ice and have not a great product to show people. Like realistically, there's only 12 goalies in the league right now. Like there's like you're gonna add more than that, and like that's not an issue. It's the forwards and it's the defense where you might see a dip in your product on the ice if you add or expand, like say like they did 2 teams next year and then another 2 teams the year after that and went to 10 teams right away. Like you might not see the great production
Definitely
on the ice like you're seeing right now from all these players. That's the only thing. Like I think you go to 8, that makes sense, and then you probably wait another 3 to 4 years,
Definitely.
and then you add another 2 teams and do it that way.
Yeah, you got to let the player pool expand. I know I was watching, I worked the game, like we were simulcasting the radio broadcast of the IHF Women's World Championships last weekend, and Canada was playing Finland in the semifinals. It was 2-1 game, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a real tight one. And then Canada put like 5 straight goals past the finish in like literally, it was probably 5 goals within 5 or 6 minutes, and completely blew it up. And I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if this disparity of country success is just the way that it's always been. Is that going to change? Are teams like the Swedish and the European teams possibly going to be successful in the coming years? Maybe the PWHL is a product of that, and it's the chicken and the egg. When you get more players, you get more teams, you get more players available. But yeah, obviously we're just wishing it success at this point. So very cool.